Hi there, Tron again. I wanted to make another little video about sobriety and uh, something that I encounter, and probably pretty much everyone who goes through sobriety encounters, is the I guess isolation when people a lot of times people just don't know what to do with you, with the new you now that you're sober, especially as you go along and are sober for longer and longer periods of time. And they don't necessarily resent you. Some people might, but you don't need them anyway. But um, like Al-Anon, this was many years ago. I went to Al-Anon for a few months because I had several family members and friends who had a lot of big drug and alcohol problems, and I was trying to learn how to cope with them a little better. And uh, remember, the folks at Al Anon warned me that once you get sober, once you make a lot of positive changes in your life, that um, a lot of people they kind of just won't know what to do with you because the thing is they're so used to the old you who they might have known for most of your life. Uh, they're so used to the old you that they've known for 10, 20, 30 years or longer in some cases, depending on how old you are, um, that now you're the 2.0 version of you, or you're working on the 2.0 version of you. And they're, I think in a lot of cases, not quite sure what to do with you. And they get, part of it is maybe a fondness for the old you, that the fun drunk, the fun person that was stoned, the daring person, whatever the case may be. Uh, I encourage anyone who is um, working on sobriety to look to role models. One person that from the past, from a long time ago, I looked up to Governor Ann Richards, former Governor Ann Richards of Texas, when she was running for governor against her opponent at the time, brought it up during the campaign that Ann Richards, well, you don't want to vote for someone who used to be a drunk pill popper and all this other stuff. Because she had 20 years before, for a few years, she had a pill problem. I think it was opioids. I think she was addicted to opioids. I could be wrong on that, but she had a pill problem and a drinking problem. But she kicked all that. And by the time she was campaigning for governor, she'd been sober for 20 years. So she just addressed that head on and shut him down to say, you know what? I am a recovering addict. It's been 20 years since I had a drink or had a pill. But she also said something to keep in mind if you're pursuing sobriety. Uh, and also, if your friends, family, acquaintances of someone who is working on sobriety, she said it starts over again every day. That even after being sober 20 years, if I go and have a few drinks tonight, then I'm back at square one pretty much. And uh, that's that's it in a nutshell. That is part of sobriety, is being fully open and honest about it. Um, and two other people I look up to, Eminem, Marshall Mathers, who this is, I don't know how many years ago, he had a big problem with drinking and I think opioids as well. He kicked that. I recently found out, I knew he had gotten through the drug problem, But I didn't know until earlier this year. A friend of mine that I worked with told me he's been sober for years now. Another one, Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails. If you watch old footage of old concert footage of Nine Inch Nails, particularly the Downward Spiral tour, that masterpiece of an album that he put out in 1994. The difference is Trent was living those songs back then. Hurt, and his most personal song, Hurt, and March of the Pigs, and I Do Not Want This, and Eraser. Eraser is basically a suicide song. So, like me, really about that same time period too, Trent was trying to destroy himself through passive suicide, just by drinking such ridiculous amounts and doing all kinds of drugs and reckless behavior. Wouldn't have been like Jim Morrison or Keith Moon. It wouldn't officially have been suicide, but it was suicide pretty much. It's passive suicide. And I've heard a few Nine Inch Nails fans over the years kind of lament, "Oh, Trent's different now." Yeah, because he got sober. I'm sure he went to therapy. Maybe he's still going to therapy. I don't know. But he got sober, and he made himself a better version of himself. He's still Trent Reznor, but he made himself a better version. But you see there, kind of a microcosm. Some of the people who say they're fans are like, "Oh man, well he's different now." Well, yeah, he's, he had the long stringy hair. His hair's cut real short now for years. He's all muscled up now, and still great performances of the same songs, but you can see the difference. Back then he was living them, and I think by about the year 2000 he was sober. Might have been a little later than that, but I think it was by about 2000 he was sober. So now it's still great performance. He's just not having a meltdown when he's singing those songs. So the question I put to them, and this is something that is food for thought. The question I put to those fans was, well, would you rather that he be dead? Because if he had kept on that track for very much longer, he would have ended up like Keith Moon or Jim Morrison or whoever, or Kurt Cobain, just hell bent on self-destruction. So when I urge anyone who is who's in recovery, who's sober now, you have to set those boundaries with people. That doesn't mean cutting off old drinking buddies and all that, but you have to just keep being yourself. Have to just forge ahead. And I'm saying this because it can be discouraging sometimes. That it can get isolating and lonely. You have to just forge ahead and keep working on that 2.0 version of you. You have to listen to the wise one, the wise voice within you that lets you know, you're on the right path, you're doing the right thing, and you have to set those boundaries and just block out all the naysayers. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger says, ignore the naysayers. You gotta just, that's one of his rules for success. You gotta just keep on forging ahead. And I mean, that's it in a nutshell. There's no great revelations with it. One of the things about sobriety is other than hitting milestones like a year, and I just passed 16 months a week or two ago, Other than that, though, it's just a day by day thing. So you have to just stay focused on the goal, ignore the naysayers, um, and just look at the differences in people like Trent Reznor, the difference between him then and him now, and he's just a better version of himself now. It's still Trent, but he's a better version of himself. And Eminem, he's a better version of himself. And people can have trouble adjusting to that. They're used to the old broken you. But don't worry about what they think. Just keep forging ahead with your own path. It's as simple as that. We are luminous beings, and just stay true to yourself. Lost my train of thought there, but I think you know where that's going. You just have to keep on doing it. All right. Hope everyone's doing well, and talk to you soon.